Good day everyone, operator Starsky. I was trying to find a quiet place because it's kind of windy in Ukraine today, and this means that Russian forces cannot use their artillery and their UAVs efficiently because we've got a really strong gust wind, and this also means that we are trying to get closer to enemies, and as you know, Russians are afraid of contact battles. They prefer using artillery, long-range weapons. We keep pushing them away in the area of Irpin, Hostomel, Bucha. We are tightening our circle around their troops, which are again cut off from their supplies. We've had a bunch of successful battles in the area of Kharkiv, in the area of Sumy. Trostenets have been liberated from Russians. In the area of Izium, Russians are trying to attack our forces in order to surround them from the north, but we keep holding our defense in that area, and luckily we are successful. And in the area of Izium, our army found some interesting finds. Russian troops who hate everything American and everything Western seem to secretly love English language, and here you can see their helmets with famous words and symbols known to everyone who at least once in their lifetime has seen the Full Metal Jacket movie. Also, for some reason, they brought this Nazi uniform. I have no idea why and what was the purpose of bringing this costume to Ukraine. Well, I think that probably they tried to, reenact capturing Nazi troops or something like that, because it's hard to find those in Ukraine. Today I've had an interview on the Israeli radio, and I've been asked about our international legion, and I said that not only international legion brings us a lot of practical help on the battlefield, it's also a huge psychological help, because with all those people, including Belarusian fighters like the one that you can currently see on your screen, with the help of all those people from all around the world, Ukrainians feel that the whole world supports them. I think that presence of international troops on the battlefield, as well as all your comments, guys, it changes a lot in the mentality, in the mind of common Ukrainians. Practically a new history is being made in Ukraine. In Mariupol, a mayor of this city has been organizing the evacuation corridors for refugees, and he talked to one of the Russian officers, and he asked, why do you do this with our city? And the answer was, because we want you to fear Russian army. Every bully needs psychologically to be stronger, to look scarier, and Russians simply can't cope with the idea that we are not scared of Russian troops. It's the worst thing that could ever happen to Russians, because they were raised knowing that whole Europe, that NATO is afraid of Russian army that actually sucks on the battlefield. Russia is being despised so much nowadays that Azerbaijani troops are moving into the area of operations controlled by Russian forces, and those are too scared to act against Azerbaijani. One of the news that I'd like to share with you is that Russians are running out of their strategic missiles, and nowadays most of their most expensive missiles have been already spent. What they're left with is old missiles that are not as precise, and in about 60% of times they simply don't work. They either miss the target or don't explode. Another thing is that according to all kinds of military books, you cannot attack with an army that have lost 30% of its power, because such army cannot complete its mission. Simply, it's impossible. This kind of army that have lost as much as 30% of its power is non-combat worthy. Unfortunately for Russians, they still keep pushing this army towards Ukrainian positions, and this means that eventually they will lose this war, because our territorial defense units are complete, and we have as much as 150% from what was needed. Actually, I think that some people are going to pay bribes soon in order to, join territorial defense. So my prediction is that after a while Russians will lose a lot of their forces, like most of their forces in Ukraine, and this will push Russians towards a dialogue. As you know, Russians claim that the first stage of their special operation in Ukraine has been successful, like losing 16,000 men, and they are trying to move their forces from north and south of Ukraine towards the joint operation forces area near Luhansk and Donetsk and Mariupol. Of course, you cannot believe everything that Russians say, so we will keep our eye on this. Frankly speaking, guys, I'm reading all of your comments, and I must say that as soon as Ukraine is safe, we all are looking forward to meet you here in Ukraine. Ukrainian people will be really happy to see everybody who supported us in this fight. This is very important for all of Ukrainians. As I already mentioned, we all feel that Ukraine is being supported by the whole civilized world. This is something that never happened before, and I must assure you that when the whole world stands for Ukraine, we cannot fail. Thanks for watching. Operator Starsky, over and out.